Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Ito na, ang IRCC magbubukas na muli para sa applications for those who want to sponsor their parents and grandparents. Nako, so in this episode, we will talk about mga reminders para sa mga doon sa interesado dito at yung mga may pending applications. I understand, ang dami palang pending dito sa program na ito. So yan po muli, ang ating bisita naman, again, Attorney Lou Jackson Danzalan, immigration lawyer, of course. Thank you again, Lou, for being
You're welcome. It's good to see you again.
Ayan, okay. So, pupuntahan ko muna itong recent announcement ng IRCC saying na ito na nga magbubukas muli ang intake nila for the parents and grandparents program in late July, specifically starting July 28. So, sabi dito, starting July 28 and over the course of approximately 2 weeks, IRCC will send invitations to apply to interested potential sponsors. Nakasulat dito, Lou, anyone who submitted an interest to sponsor form in 2020, grabe, ang tagal na pala, kaya ako nagsabi kanina na dito.
Correct.
Pero hindi pa daw nakaka-receive ng invitation to apply, is encouraged to check your email na pinrovide ninyo noong 2020. And pati yung junk at spam folders, i-check daw ninyo.
Yeah.
So grabe pala, Lu, ang tagal na itong mga naghihintay.
Well, klaruhin natin, i-breakdown natin. Ano to, parang itong express entry pool eh. So, yung nakakainis dito sa press release ng government, sana nag-communicate yung team nila na mas maayos sana yung release. Sorry, with all due respect to IRCC. Kasi sabi nila intake. So, yung ibang tao, iniisip nila, mag-i-intake na naman sila ng mga candidates for sponsor. So, yung iniisip nila, pwede sila pumasok dun sa pool of potential sponsors. Kasi in order to sponsor, you need to be invited to sponsor. Para siyang ITA.
So please clarify this for us. Ano ba, tatanggap madang bagong applications or babalikan lang muli yung pag-issue nga nila ng invitations? Ano ba? Can you clarify it for us?
So let's break down some terms first. When we say an application, this is an application for permanent residence or an application to sponsor. Pero meron silang tinatawag dun yung notice of intent to sponsor, di ba? Yun yung pagpasok sa pool. Ito yung parang equivalent mo sa express entry, yung paggawa mo ng profile. So, noong 2020, bumukas yung pool for parent-grandparent sponsorship. Pwede kang gumawa ng profile mo doon and re-register mo yung intention mo to sponsor your parent or your grandparent. Tapos doon yung file mo dormant until such a time na magtatawag sila ng draw, for example. So random selection ulit 'yan. Walang score dito this time around. So sasabihin nila, kung makatanggap kayo ng invitation dito sa bunutan na to, pwede kayong mag-submit ng application. So from their perspective, totoo naman, intake, kasi they're taking in applications. But it doesn't mean that if Ina had put herself out as a permanent resident or citizen, an intention to sponsor her parents in 2020, doesn't mean na meron kang live application.
Okay. So that's clear. Okay. Ano ibig sabihin nitong part na to, Lu? Hold on, ako tinanggal ko siya. Babalikan ko lang.
Sige.
Ito naman. Okay. This part. Those invited to apply as part of the 2025 intake can submit their applications electronically through the PR portal or the representative portal. Ano ibig sabihin nito?
Right. So, typically, para tong ITA for express entry, so kung mabunot ka sa 28, makakatanggap ka ng email from IRCC dun sa ni-register mo from back in 2020, nung panahon pa ni Kopong-Kopong. So, pagka nakatanggap ka ng invitation nga to sponsor your parent, pwede kang mag-submit ng kompletong PR application according to the checklist that they will give you using the portal. Online na siya. Kasi traditionally, this was a paper application. Pero ever since 2021-22, they've migrated this process as an online application. So, ayun nga, iimbitahin yung mga mabubunot na mag-submit ng application through the portal. Kung may representative sila, may representative portal, you can, as a representative, submit the application on behalf of your client.
Okay. So again, Lua, tama ba intindi ko? You have to be already in the pool.
Correct.
Okay. So yung mga nag-iisip na wala pa dun sa pool ngayon, Lu, ano sasabihin nila? Ay, hindi pa pala ako pwede. So ano ang sasabihin mo sa kanila? What should they wait for?
They should wait for the pool to open again. Pero since may 5 taon na, ang ano ko na lang siguro dito is suntok sa bond prayer is sana maubos na yung mga intending to sponsor dun sa pooling. At kapag naubos na yun, pwede na sila mag-replenish ng mga bagong potential sponsors. Kasi sa totoo lang, ang dami kong pinsan na nag-aabang, tsaka mga kaibigan na nag-aabang din. Yun nga, bukod pa yan sa processing time kapag nakapag-submit ka ng PR application. Siguro ito yung second na kaakibat nung discussion natin today is kung nabunot ka, ano nga yung mga requirements, di ba?
Yeah,
dami pa nun.
Correct. Ano yung eligibility, no? Para ito na yung chance mo, no? After isipin nyo, 2020 nyo pa pinasok ang inyong profile. Finally, kayo inimbitahan. You shouldn't waste this opportunity and make sure that you have everything you need to be qualified at matuloy. Anong reminders natin for them?
Sige. So, analogous to sa spousal sponsorship actually. So, first of all, ang isang kakaiba dito is kailangan maimbita ka nga to apply to sponsor your parent or grandparent. You must be at least 18 years old. Unlike sa spousal sponsorship, kasi Canadian citizens, they can sponsor their spouse to come to Canada as PR as long as they can register their intent na babalik sila ng Canada, di ba? Yung sponsor for this particular program, they need to have a primary residential address in Canada. So, labas pa dito yung mga primary address sa Quebec. Kausapin nyo si Renz kasi mas linya niya to. Kasi, ang problema kasi, exactly, kasi merong rules na sarili ang Quebec. Ang pagkakaalam ko nga, sinuspend ang intake ng spousal. Baka affected din ng parent and grandparent. So, check Quebec rules. Pero kung sa rest of Canada, you need to be living in Canada nga. And then you must have enough money. So, ito sa spousal sponsorship or common law, di ba walang financial requirement? Di ba? Pag nagsusponsor ng anak, walang financial requirement. Basta may trabaho ka, okay lang.
Parang ibabang mo lang basta na susuportahan mo sila. That's
correct. Not only will you vouch to support your parent or grandparent, and by the way, 10 years ang undertaking mo versus 3 years dun sa parent, ay sa spouse, common law partner, 10 years sa parents, di ba? Not only do you have to vouch, but you must also show, according to the size of your family, na kaya mong suportahan at sustentuhan yung magulang at yung grandparent nga, kung sino man yung isa-sponsor nyo. At ang bilangan ng family members dito ay hindi basta-basta. So, halimbawa, kung ako ay kasal, meron akong asawa, kunwari, at meron na akong 2 anak, ano yung family count ko? 4? Depende. So, 4 yung baseline. Ilan yung isa-sponsor ko? Parents ko, for example, or grandparents ko. Halimbawa, sabihin natin parents ko. 2 yon. So, yung family baseline plus 2. So, 6 yung size. So, titignan mo yung minimum necessary income for 6. And in the process of your application, pag nagbago ang circumstances mo, kailangan i-disclose mo yan. Halimbawa, nagkaroon ka ng pangatlong anak in that circumstance. So, magiging 7. So, tataas na naman ang threshold. And yung minimum necessary income, ang bilangan nito, retrospective. Titignan yung last 3 notices of assessment mo in Canada. Diba? Yung last 3 tax assessments mo, pasok ba? Ito pa, common mistake na nakikita ko parate, lalo sa mga kababayan natin, yung sponsors, hindi nila sinasama yung kanilang spouse or common law partner as co-sponsor. So, kadalasan, ang daming nasasemplang sa MNI. Yung minimum necessary income.
Dapat pareho kayo. Alright. Okay.
Mas magandang pareho kasi nga, yung income ninyo, so halimbawa, lumaki yung size ng family, tapos biglang hindi na nami-meet, di ba? Walang problema kasi kasama yung yung income ng asawa mo, di ba? Or ng common law partner
pala
mo.
Yun.
Yes.
So you as a married couple can sponsor one pair
Co-sponsor.
of parents. Kunyari dun sa
Correct. Oo.
Okay.
And another thing, so ako yung nabunot, diba? Tapos kunwari may asawa ko, pwede ko bang i-sponsor yung mga parents-in-law ko? The answer is no. Hindi siya nasa-substitute.
Kailangan kayo pair?
Kailangan ang sinusponsor ko lang is yung parents ko. Yung
All.
asawa ko, pwedeng i-co-sponsor yung parents
Yeah.
ko. Ganun yung
All.
scenario. Ngayon, kung yung asawa ko gustong i-sponsor yung kanyang parents, kailangan siya mismo yung nabunot.
Okay. Now, babalikan ko lang yung sinasabi mo kanina, no, na kunyari, okay na, nakarating na si both parents, kunyari na lang both parents ko na sponsor na namin ni JJ.
Sure.
Now, we are responsible for them for 10 years, you mentioned, di ba?
Yes.
At the time that we sponsored them, pasok ang aming household income doon sa required funds to sponsor the two
Yes.
of them. Ngayon, in 2 years, again, may 10 years na dapat responsible ka sa kanila. In 2 years, nanganak ako ng kambal. For example. So, kailangan, I will find a way to increase our household income. Is that it?
Yes, if the application to sponsor and the PR has not been granted yet. Pero kung PR na sila, wala nang pake. Ganun. Okay na yun.
Okay. What you're saying is dapat mag-adjust throughout the application period. You have to alert.
Correct.
RTC.
Correct.
Okay. Wow. Sige. Ano pa nga ba?
Last point.
Go ahead. Sige.
Diba, kadalasan kasi sa atin dito, lalo na yung mga nasa temporary resident situation na nakahanap ng, ano yung tawag mo, a FAM pathway.
Walang ganun, guys, ha? Alam mo naman,
joke lang yun.
Pilipino sa
Joke lang yun. But seriously, if you get to sponsor your parent or your grandparent through this particular program, tas na-refuse kayo, meron kayong appeal rights through the Immigration Appeal Division. Sabihin natin na yung officer, they found na hindi nyo na-meet yung minimum necessary income for certain years, kasi kailangan 3 years yun eh. Ang pwede mong gawin is pwede ka mag-submit ng a notice of appeal to the IAD within a certain number of days upon the refusal. At that point, honestly, when you get a refusal, lawyer up. Mahirap mag-self-represent sa board kasi kaaway mo na dito Minister's Council sa board at hindi siya judge, decision maker siya. Pero ganun yung setup. Para kang nasa tribunal talaga. Because it is a tribunal.
Yeah. Okay. Hindi nakasulat dito sa announcement ng IRCC kung ilan yung pwedeng sendan nila ng invitations to apply.
I believe they said 10,000, di ba?
Meron ba? Or maybe in a different...
nasa second line, will accept 10,000 complete application.
Pinakauna, no? Up to 10,000 pala complete applications for sponsorship. Okay. Pero guys, sakali man hindi kayo swertehin, meron naman nakasulat dito, no? Hindi kayo ma-invite, consider having your parents or grandparents apply for a super visa. Okay, which is a multiple entry visa that's valid for up to 10 years. Okay, and they can stay in Canada for 5 years at a time. Okay, in closing na lang siguro, Lou, ito, dahil nababasa ko to sa social media, yung ilan nung nabalitaan na tatanggap ng mga 10,000 parents and grandparents. Ang criticism ng iba ano ba yan? Sabi nila, ano ba ang pakinabang ng Canada sa elderly, basically? Kasi syempre, parents and
grandparents. Quote-unquote,
oo,
diba?
Yung iba sinasabi, tama ba na yan pa i-prioritize when they come here, kumbaga sabi nila, they contribute less daw. If not zero, lalo na kung medyo matanda na halimbawa si grandparents, yung mga ganyan. Explain to us why this program exists at ano ang benepisyo ng parents and grandparents.
Sakit sa banks, para namang hindi lahat ng matandang tao yung nagtatrabaho. Parang lahat hindi nagtatrabaho, di ba? Punta kaya sila sa Singapore, makikita nila ang taas ng gray labor participation doon. Punta sila sa McDo, sila yung nag-aayos ng mga mesa, nagsaserve, di ba? Hindi porket matanda ka, hindi ka pwede magtrabaho. Una sa lahat. So parang napaka-ageist naman ata nito with all due respect. Pangalawang punto, meron ding socio-economic benefit ng pag-sponsor ng inyong mga magulang at ng inyong mga grandparents into Canada. First of all, family reunification. Una sa lahat, halimbawa kung iyong magulang ay nasa ibang bansa pa, kaya pinapadala mo yung remittances mo kung saan mang bansa na yan, kung nandito na lang kaya siya sa Canada nakatira, dito na nakagastos, na consolidate yung mga expenses niyo, di ba? Pangalawang punto.
That's right, good point.
Yeah. Pangalawang punto, paano kung may anak ka, 'di ba? Hindi ka ba nakikinabang na merong isa pang hand na tutulong sa iyo to take care of your kids kung alam mo kailangan mo mag-shower na lang, Ina, 'di ba? Na 15 minutes na kailangan mong hindi binabantayan yung anak mo. Okay. Hi.
Yes.
Speaking of, na ano,
Ano?
ang point nga is like meron itong mga non-quantified benefits na hindi naman binibilang necessarily ng mga economists, with all due respect to economists. Pero kung titignan ninyo yung societal impact niya, malaki.
Yes.
Malaking malaki. At pangatlong punto, isang draw ito for Canada for the longest time to attract top talent. Kasi there's an arms race for attracting top talent. Na the possibility of you being able to sponsor your parents or grandparents to basically relocate the family to Canada is one of the critical draws for Canada na hindi mo basta-basta magagawa sa ibang bansa, halimbawa. Diba?
Oo. Definitely, no, I agree, no. Malaki ang contribution. Nagiging mas productive ang isang household if you bring in, halimbawa, your parents for reasons like, again, taking care of the children. Nakakatulong yan. Sabi mo, hindi quantifiable. Sa totoo, quantifiable din, Lou, in some way.
True.
Your
Hindi lang
daycare
kina-quantify. Yan kasi.
yung childcare, and you're right, and other things, no? Yung remittance nga, tama, dito na lang mag-stay, diba?
Diba?
And I told Lou nga rin, bakit yung iba nga, or actually marami sa mga spousal sponsorship, yung mga asawa end up, taking care of the children at home.
Correct.
Diba? So, bakit nila pupunahin kung mas nakakatanda?
Yeah. Diba? I mean, fair naman to criticize. That's a fair question. Pero ito yung sagot.
At least now we understand, diba?
Yeah.
Okay, so, ayun. Maganda naman ang ating naging discussion. Thank you, as always, Lou, for being here sa ating channel. Again, ng kanyang email, yung gumagapang dyan sa baba, shoot him an email if you have more questions. For now, we will end this episode here. We will see you guys in the next one. Bye!